Hello, everyone. We have two topics of discussion for today. The nerf of box breathing and the Redrix Claymore, Redrix Broadsword situation that happened very recently. So first up, we'll cover box breathing. Box breathing is apparently nerfed, according to a screenshot from the Bungie Crucible combat stream. Now, I tend to not believe stuff until I actually see it in the game, but for the moment, we'll speak as if it is 100% happening, which it seems like it is. The nerf is where box breathing will fall off after a single shot instead of when you de-scope, making it more of a take a breath and fire for bonus damage style of perk instead of a take a breath and do 30% increased damage forever perk. That means that the previously god tier weapons, Whisper of the Worm and by sort of extension Ikelos Sniper, got a significant nerf if this nerf ends up holding up. Thoughts? Well, depending on how you look at these weapons, I can see why you may or may not be disappointed. Ikelos is already getting its damage type switched to Solar to avoid, I want to die, any synergy with Tractor Cannon. So that's now two big nerfs to the weapon. With Whisper being the way that it is, I knew that there was no way that Bungie was going to nerf the White Nail perk on the weapon. If Bungie brought this weapon into the game with White Nail the way that it is, knowing that White Nail was insanely powerful in Destiny 1, there was no way that they were going to nerf it. Looks like they had box breathing instead, which is a bit more reasonable, but it is still a big blow to a weapon that is essentially the best DPS weapon in the game for anything lasting longer than 10 seconds or so. The reason I'm okay with this is because it makes the gap smaller between the best and second best weapons. It makes it so Bungie still has the capability of adding new guns, or snipers specifically, to the game and not have them instantly require box breathing in order to compete. We've had this conversation very recently. I'm the kind of person who wants the new stuff to be better than the old stuff in almost all scenarios. I do not want loot in Forsaken to bore me before I even get it because I know stuff from year one is really good. However, Whisper of the Worm is still going to be an insanely good weapon going into Forsaken and still may be the best boss damage weapon in the game for maybe another year depending on what other items become available. So that's why I'm personally okay with it. It's still going to be a really good weapon. Ikelos, less so. But I'm a fan of ditching year one stuff for year two stuff. I think it's okay to be mad at box breathing getting nerfed, but it's still going to be one of the, if not the best option for a while, depending on what kind of bosses we end up fighting against. And if it turns out not to be the best thing, if it turns out that something else is better than Whisper of the Worm in Forsaken, then that's sort of a win as well in my book, because that means Forsaken loot is valuable. Unfortunately, it would also mean that Whisper of the Worm was basically only relevant for about 2 months, which I could see people having a problem with. Then we have the Redrix's Claymore situation. For those unaware, Redrix's Claymore is getting retired at the end of Season 3. You won't be able to get it again, ever. Those who earn it will get a special emblem and will get instant access to the weapon Redrix's Broadsword, which is a pulse rifle that is basically the same as Redrix's Claymore. It's just essentially a year 2 updated version of the weapon that is able to get random rolls, but it will still have the Outlaw and Desperado combo. However, Redrix's Broadsword will also be available in Season 4 via a Shaxx quest. If you're sitting there laughing, that means you realize that you can get what is essentially Claymore 2.0 without having to play Season 3 competitive. The Broadsword, or Claymore 2.0, will not be locked behind the Glory ranking system in Season 4. A different weapon will be locked behind Glory ranking, but a lot of the people who obtained Claymore in Season 3 are very annoyed, and rightfully so, again, depending on their viewpoint. At the time, we did not know what the quest from Shaxx was, and knowing Bungie, most people just generally assumed that it was going to be something that was incredibly easy, because that's just kind of what happens. Now, I don't really feel like I have a ton of room to talk here. I have 100 glory points or something like that. There is a very low chance I get Claymore by season's end. I really didn't try for it, so there's not much for me to say here. Bungie has said that they wanted to get the perk combo and the weapon, essentially, into more hands than people got in Season 3. Season 3 competitive was something I knew I was absolutely going to avoid due to the matchmaking system, the PvP sandbox in general, and the fact that I don't enjoy no radar. For reference, I believe around 8,000 to 9,000 people at the moment have the Claymore. If I had a Claymore, though, I personally would have been okay with this decision, especially now that we know what the quest line involves. When this was first revealed, no one knew what the quest line was or how easy or hard it would be. Now, I would have wanted Claymore as a completionist, as a collector, and less so as a tool to go crap on people in the Crucible. The fact that I would be getting an emblem that shows off that I got the weapon would have been fine with me because I would also have instant access to the newer version of the gun, and the main thing that I would want to show off is that I actually got Claymore in Season 3. Look at the thing that I did. It's so rare, you can't get it, ha ha ha, stuff like that. But if you're someone who managed to get the Claymore and wanted it because the weapon itself is so insanely powerful and could be even more powerful in Season 4 with the changes, then I 100% completely understand your pain. You grinded competitive, something that was pretty misery-inducing in Season 3, and something that a lot of people considered as a failure for this season, in order to get something really, really good, like one of the best weapons in the game. You're at the pinnacle. You have the gun. You did the thing, the super ultra hard screw you level thing. And now Bungie just opened the floodgates to this precious item that you fought so hard for. Trust me when I say I've been there. I have definitely been there. It's a bad feeling. It feels really, really bad to grind and grind and grind for this really cool thing. And then all of a sudden, it's just open to everybody. I understand that side. I understand all sides. There should be items in the game that not everyone can get, even if the item is in such a small amount of hands. I don't even have the thing, and I think it should exist. I'll put it this way. If everyone who had the Claymore was subscribed to my channel, it would be about 1% of my total subscribers. So this is a problem that affects an incredibly small amount of people. But I've been in that situation before in gaming. I can relate, and it sucks. However, we now know the quest that is involved with getting the Broadsword. We didn't know it when they first revealed it. They revealed it the next day, which I don't know why they did that. But here's the quest line. Step number 1. In the Crucible, defeat 200 opponents with pulse rifle final blows. Number 2, reach Valor rank Heroic. Number 3, earn 75 double plays, aka I think that's double kills. Number 4, defeat 150 opponents with precision final blows from any pulse rifle. Number 5, defeat 50 opponents with arc, solar, and void final blows. That's 50 each. Number 6, complete 25 Crucible matches in quickplay, competitive, and rumble. Number 7, complete 20 Crucible bounties. And number 8, reset your Valor rank 5 times in a single season. This is by no means difficult stuff. All of this is relatively easy stuff. But 5 Valor rank resets. Previous Valor resets will not count for this, by the way. That is a very time-consuming thing for the average person. Most people couldn't even be bothered to get 1 reset without a 2x or 3x Valor boost for their Solstice armor. I couldn't. I did it with a 3x bonus. Now Bungie's asking for 5 for the Broadsword. This is a decent consolation prize for those who already have the Claymore. It's not regrind competitive until your eyes fall out difficult, but most people are probably not going to be willing to do this anyway because it's going to take so long. But if you have the gun, I still feel your pain. Now you don't even need to be good to get the weapon. You just need to grind against the clock. As a PvE tryhard, I don't like things that just take time to get. Certain things should also take skill to get. The Broadsword is the PvP version of this problem. Now, Season 4 is still going to have its glory weapon locked behind glory rank and getting that high glory rank. But for a weapon like this, you know, I get it. It sucks. It sucks really, really bad. Bungie has their goals for the weapon. We have our own viewpoints. What are you going to do? There's not really a right answer here. Speaking of competitive being not very good, there are some changes coming to it in Season 4. Glory points gained and lost have been retuned to reduce the overall climb to higher ranks. Radar has been re-enabled. Control and Clash were added to the playlist. Lost streaks are gone. And all of that is on top of the weapon changes and all that stuff. I have no idea how this will actually pan out in Season 4. We need to see this all in action. But I can pretty safely say that almost anything will be better than Season 3 was. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. Sorry, the hot takes weren't exactly super hot, but you know how it goes playing the whole here's the argument for every side kind of game that I play now. Thank you very much for listening. I'll see you next time.